Today I've got a book of Daniel and chapter 6. So, what I'm going to do today is actually to explain what happens when death applies to the evil ones. You see, for them, it's different. Death they can't avoid, whereas good people will always avoid death. Now, this is something new to you, but I know that, so I'm just explaining it to you what happens. So it's very interesting chapter because you have where Satan is first rejected, but his response is the same as before. People like Daniel, like me, were to blame for whatever happened. Yet Daniel is noted as a person with superior intelligence, and that is what evil people want to understand. Why is Daniel able to escape? Why Daniel is able to defy belief? Although it's been done, the expectation doesn't happen. What evil people expect to happen is not the case. Now, why is that? And this is the situation we have with the disciples, anointed people. People like Daniel, like me, tend to defy what is logic in how they approach things and how they do things. So the chapter we're gonna look at is intense. It's quite a lot because it's 1,000 years in meaning, but it also has to incorporate 2,000 years to come. Now, this is in the reign of Adam, where Satan is rejected first, and then from there you see the implication of what was going to happen. Like Cain rejected in Adam's reign, in a second cycle of reign, went on to be rejected in the reign of Eve, because God accepted Moses' witness account, not Cain. So Cain didn't exist. And this is the issue that evil people have to wrestle with. It's the difficulty of having to deal with spiritual defeat, which they can't overcome. Yet Daniel is able to overcome them despite the difficulties he has to face in life. And this is the story we're gonna have today. And that's very interesting because I like that. I see, it has got all these things about going on, and how Daniel is viewed in private. That despite what they do, you overcome them. Yet, when death is put forward, it's evil people to face death. The outcome is different. And this is obviously the issue they're wrestling with, and something they have to overcome is this issue of people like Daniel, like me, overcome them. Now that's interesting. I love that chapter because I've been talking about Ken and Satan and relationship and how that had evolved, developed, redeveloped, basically the same thing, some outcome, but it's disputed, argued, denied, and you have disputes, conflict. Like what do we see happening in the world? Now, Daniel's part and the 12th anointed or disciples in the land of Adam in the third cycle were Satan is first rejected, gives an answer to what happens when good people die, because all good people except who escape death, whereas evil people can't. And this is the difficulty evil people have, who always have that difficulty of how to overcome death. Mind you, death they created to get rid of good, but death failed to do the only thing that it was created to do, is to get rid of good. Yet death always succeed in getting rid of evil people, and this then scenario or the difficulty evil people face is that you see reflected in the approach how they do things, and the conflict, wars, diseases, anything like that is directing death where it should be, but it doesn't happen. So Daniel was thrown in a pit, and it's closed, the king's signet, and it's locked. Come the following day, Daniel survived. Although it isn't actually. The following day, it's 3,000 years to pass, because you got the reigns of Eve and Adam to come, and then what happened is known, and where we are now, basically. So that is the story we got here, and it's exciting in that it's vivid in manifestation, in that Daniel goes to survive 2,000 years after his death, and he lives to tell. I know that. Now, that is exciting because you see where it's coming from. When these things happen 3,000 years ago and 3,000 years later, it is so. And the difference between good people and evil people, in this sense, is some of it is real, in that Daniel and his own kind survived death, whereas the evil ones with their own kind didn't survive, can't survive, won't survive, will never survive. And this is what you see happening. The mindset set on destroying good, but they can't, and they struggle with that. And so we got this chapter, which is exciting, and I explain it, and it gives you clarity actually in what is to be a good person and what is to be an evil person. No two way about it, one or the other. And I know my part, obviously. Now, we see how it's played out. Okay.